I am delighted to see that everybody is telling me about their favorite cheeses. Hopefully, you can all hear me. Everything says it's working, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is 100%. Nobody likes a wriggling cheese. No, I don't suppose I do. Hello again, and welcome to day 3 of the Circumlocution office. I texted a friend this morning to update her on the situation, and she said, it's like Charles Dickens in the Circumlocution office, which, if you're not familiar, is from Little Dorrit, I think. And the Circumlocution office is the government department in charge of making things happen, but their real job is to not ever make anything happen. And just to make everyone go around and around. Have a like and a good stream. Thank you. Some of you should probably be going to bed right now. So if you would like the very brief update, my YouTube creator support human question mark seems to live in Australia. That's my best guess, because he only, or she only, responds between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. So I was up quite a lot in the night to respond to emails. I have been told all week that I need to fill in the policy violation form, and I can't. Every time I do, no matter how I do it, it says, sorry, there's something wrong with it. And so they said, okay, maybe you need to fill in the invalid traffic form instead. So I did, and it said, I'm sorry, that's not correct either. So I said, right, what do I do? And my potentially a human told me that I should wait a few days and then try the original form again, the one that we've tried 10 times now, and it doesn't work. And so I went and complained about this on Twitter and YouTube, that the Twitter creator, YouTube creators thing was like, we'll take this to DMs, and it basically told me, just keep using your creator support person. I'm like, I am. They're not helping, because they keep telling me to do something which we both know doesn't work. And I don't know why I even bothered responding, because it's very clear that that is also a bot. Like, that's also something that is giving prepackaged responses. But what can you do? We go round and round and around again. But there we go. Have we tried turning YouTube off and on again? Yeah. Not that it helps, but with the service like that, I start emailing, like, you get a new person every time. So replay, this is what I got for Form A, this is what I got for Form B. Yes, that is the problem. I am doing that. They just ignore that and just tell me to do the first one again, but wait for a few days first. And so basically at this point, what's going to happen is I'm going to wait a few days, I'm going to fill out the form again, and it's not going to work. So my only hope is getting in touch with my partner manager, but I can't, because, well, I have an email address. I don't know if it's the correct email address. I hope so. But regardless, I have had no response from, and I emailed 2 days ago. I think that my partner manager is in my time zone, and so has had a full working day plus extra, so like 1.5 working days to respond. And I understand that people are busy, and sometimes they're on holiday, or they're sick, or whatever, and so trying to get a hold of one specific person is going to take longer. But basically, help me, partner manager, you're my only hope, except I can't. Rather like Princess Leia, I can't, maybe I should send R2D2 with a CD with a message on it to YouTube, because that might be necessary in order to like get something done. What can you do? I have I'm in a Facebook group with several YouTubers, and one of them is Metatron, who very kindly volunteered to reach out to his own partner manager. So they will probably tell him that they can't do anything, but, I appreciate the effort anyway. Help is now one of those 4-letter words no one hears anymore. Can you try looking up your partner manager on LinkedIn? That is not a bad idea, actually. Let's see. I deactivated my LinkedIn for a really long time, just because I didn't use it, and then I thought, I thought to myself, Why don't I... I thought I may as well just put it back up again. Why not? And let's see. Does this person exist? Yes. Can I message? No. Okay, can I ask to connect? Have I forgotten how to do that? Like, can I message? No. Can I follow? I suppose. No. Can I connect? There we go. Okay, that's you should send a message. People sometimes ask to connect with me on LinkedIn, or at least they used to when it was sort of active. Sorry, I cannot. There's one thing that I absolutely cannot do, and that is think about a different conversation while write and talk at the same time. If you see what I mean, unless I'm writing what I'm typing. Okay, there we go. Will that help? I don't know, but Twitter was a relatively good shout. I mean, it turned out that the only person there was a robot, and they gave me. What happened was they were like, "Yeah, we've created a support ticket for you," and then the support ticket said, "You've already got a support ticket, so just keep talking to that person." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine," but they only answer between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. Which means I have to keep getting up in the night if I want anything done. Today I got 2 whole emails over the course of the night because I got up in the middle of the night to respond to the first email in order to get the second email. But that's a bit of a pain. It would be nice if they were in my time zone, but they're not, so we carry on. I literally tell my husband, wait, if I am writing. Yes, I am oft heard to say, you can keep interrupting me and this will take 10 minutes, or you can stop interrupting me and it will take 2. But that is your choice. I will do the thing that you've asked me to do when I have finished. But that will be 2 minutes if you stop interrupting me and 10 minutes if you keep asking me questions about it. So, that is your choice. I do not have to say this to my husband because, he understands this, but I have to say it to other members of our household. I mean, I say it to Nemo, but I say it to Nemo, but Nemo doesn't understand. He just keeps trying to walk across my laptop anyway. What can you do? As a subscriber, how can I make a one-off donation to Patreon? I was going to say I'm not sure if you can, but that's not true. You can, you kind of have 2 choices. You can pay for 1 year at the lowest tier, which is like $13 or something, and then you can just cancel it, as in so it doesn't renew. Or you could just sign up and pay the money because they make you pay for the month up front, and then you just cancel it again. Signing up is relatively easy. Canceling is relatively easy. Changing tiers is apparently the hard part. I'm trying to think if there is a way to like let you make a one-off donation that isn't Patreon. Okay, hang on. Possibly by the time I've finished thinking about this. Oh no. My window got really small. Someone will be able to give me a suggestion. Let's see. Don't we see? Usually you can only message if you have a premium account. Indeed. Connect is weirdly hidden under the 3 dots instead of immediately visible. Yes. You need a passport with a chip as well. That I do have, I think. Because I had to get my passport renewed relatively recently, like in the last some years. Waking up and checking in with Jill is starting into my morning routine. Welcome. What do you do? I don't know. So basically they have to, if I can get hold of my partner manager, then maybe, partner manager may have some more power to help, or at least tell me what the actual problem is, because no one seems to, even if they know, they won't tell me. But until then, I'm basically just going to leave it until Monday and then see what, try again. To be fair, if another department is on the problem, waiting a few days might actually solve the problem. Yes, I don't think anyone else is actually on the problem. It's just, I'm not even sure that YouTube creator support is on the problem. It's just the only person who cares about the problem is me. I mean, I guess you guys also care about the problem, which, I greatly appreciate. But, hey ho, what do you do? We never see the internet in the Star Wars universe because it collapsed the same way ours. Sending a droid with a CD is really the fastest, most secure way. Yeah, don't we see them Skype a whole lot? They do have some kind of video calling, definitely. Like hologram video calling. Buy Me a Coffee is a popular platform for one-off donations. That is useful to know. I don't have it right now though. So, Stream Elements with PayPal link. I don't know what Stream Elements is. I mean, I do have PayPal, so I guess that might work. It'd probably be quicker to get a job as YouTube as your partner manager and do it yourself. I'm not gonna tell you that you're wrong. I'm not gonna tell you that you're wrong. Nice Aussie hours for a change. It's finally cooled down enough to go to bed. I congratulate you. How's Nemo doing? He's great. He's having a good time. We shall write it down. The 12 days of chill. Hopefully it will not be 12 days. Like I was saying, so basically there is nothing I can do until I get in touch with my own partner manager, which I have now tried several different methods, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Or until I have waited a few days so I can try and fill in the form that doesn't work again. Now, I think I know why the form doesn't work, but I don't think that explaining that to anyone would actually do anything. And that's the really frustrating part. It's like, I just want to talk in real time to a human who really does have the power to solve my problem, but none of you actually do. You're just trying to transfer me to the right department, but the only way to transfer me to the right department is to fill out the form, which no one can fill out. Great. What do we do? Stream Elements is a program suite, I assume suite, commonly used to add functionality on Twitch. There you go. Remember, tomorrow is Lucia. I don't know what that is, aside from maybe the 13th of December. You have to dress up in a white gown, put a candle crown on your head, and sing for your family. Maybe the real partner managers are the friends we made along the way. I just had to stop my cat Kiki from reporting you. Oh, fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, I think there's an asterisk. Everyone keeps referring to the Asterix, Aster and Obelix comic, which I have not seen, but now I kind of want to. But yes, we are stuck in a Kafka-esque nightmare or the Circumlocution office in Little Dorrit. Either is maybe, either or both. But never mind. Just so you know, if you are a person who is watching on Patreon and you want to join in the live chat, you need to click through from YouTube. No, you need to click through to YouTube in order to do that. Anyway, I say I will be disappearing for a couple of days. If you are a $5 patron or above, you will see me on Saturday, where we will have a slightly less manic stream, and we will talk about whatever. Those are a little... They tend to be wide-ranging, put it like that. So hopefully some of the new people who have signed up recently can come along, and that would be really fun. I always have a good time. I don't know if everybody else has a good time, but most of them do seem to keep coming back to the monthly private stream. So I assume that they are also having at least a reasonably good time. I make that assumption. Anyway. So I was thinking something I was thinking something that I was going to tell you about, and oh yes, I remember what it was. Basically the first thing was I like live streaming, and talking to you guys, and it's fun, and also keeps me from sort of stress eating the chocolate, because the chocolate is downstairs and I am not. So that's always good. But also it gives me like a small amount of joy that YouTube can't monetize this. And therefore it is paying for me to talk to you. And it's costing them money because they can't put ads on it. At least I assume they can't put ads on it. Has anybody seen an ad on this live stream so far, either before it or in the middle at some point? Let me know. This has been described as a catch-22 from the book of the same name. Yes, there's another one. I find it sad, but not surprising that we have so many ways of describing bureaucracy and situations which you cannot win and just make you go round and round. Have the time variance authority got involved yet? Yeah. Oh well, never mind. No ads. What's an ad? Yeah. It is important that you don't believe them. I've not seen ads on your stuff. See, Ekage is correct that before you are monetized, YouTube can show ads on your videos and not share the money with you. But in this situation, I think they have just stopped showing any ads on any of my content at all. Which actually, if that continues indefinitely, that's annoying, but possibly workable. I won't get any AdSense money, but on the other hand, you don't have to watch any ads. And if I have enough Patreon support, then, does it really matter in the long run? Unfortunately, this does mean that more eggs are in the Patreon basket, and I have seen people get kicked off Patreon, so that's not 100% secure. But then again, YouTuber as a career is not a terribly stable one anyway. So, that is an option. There is something on my glasses. Please excuse me. Oh right, I have YouTube Premium, so I won't get ads. I'd like to express my apologies for using AdBlock. Ads are terrible. I mean, I do watch them on YouTube, or at least I skip them, but that's because I'm too cheap to use YouTube Premium, and I do wish to give the very small amount of money to the people that I'm watching. However, they're always awful, and the ads themselves are terrible AI-generated garbage, so, merch is always great. Yeah, YouTube memberships, of course, are disabled, and so now you physically can't have a YouTube membership on the channel anymore, which is annoying. Several people have come over from YouTube memberships to Patreon, which is very kind. Patreon, as platforms go, I'm on like a legacy tier, and so I think they don't give me any extra features, but they only take about 5% of my money. And so, or rather, they only take 5% of your money and they give the other 95% to me. So that at least is a bonus. There's always more alternatives to Patreon. I've seen creators move to Fourth Wall. I've never heard of Fourth Wall. Fourth Wall. That's probably not a precise enough thing for me to call it. The best way for creators to open shops, offer memberships, and more. Okay. I'm with you. No monthly fees, no credit card required. Cool. That's definitely useful. Basically, what this entire saga has shown me is that diversification is an important thing, and also that I should probably start an email list, because if YouTube can turn off monetization and it takes this long it has taken 3 days and they still have not told me why they've turned it off. So if they can do that, it is absolutely 100% possible that they will just turn off the channel at any moment for any reason, and there will be no comeback from that, and I can't. They won't tell me why. So clearly, what I need is an email list for, if that happens, in case of emergency, press button sort of thing. I can also, email other things like, look, the audiobook is finally coming out, or look, a hardback edition of Just Stab Me Now, or whatever. But, Oh, Google. If you inspect the page as the form is submitted, do errors appear in the console? No, it says, thank you for submitting the form, and then about 3 minutes later, I get a message which details the possible reasons why the form has been rejected. So it's not it's not like a glitch that means the form hasn't gone in. It's like the form goes in, and then it goes, no, we don't like it, and sends you an email to tell you that. Oh no. I was reading something and now it's gone. How much percentage did YouTube take? 30%. They take 30%. Do you normally get a lot of your money from AdSense? No. Well, I mean, a substantial proportion, usually. But the most in December, because December is the dearest month in which to buy ads. Like late November, early December is the most expensive time to buy an advert. The bright spot is a difficult situation can show you how much you're loved. I have been so grateful for all of the support that everyone has given me. Like, so many people have signed up to Patreon and gone, YouTube suck, so I came to give you some money, which has been very humbling, and I appreciate it very much. Like, Ko-Fi is a flat rate instead of a percentage. Are you taking notes for your next book? Just demonetize me now. Patreon did better for you than YouTube for the same donation. Yes, that is true. Email lists for going back to the 80s, and I'm here for it. Like, I can't think of another way that's, if you're on someone else's platform, right? If you're on Twitter, they can ban you. If you're on YouTube, they can turn off your account and not tell you why. If you're on Facebook, ditto. If you have an email list, I assume that you are slightly more secure with that. As in, they're less likely to just switch it off and not tell you why. I mean, there's still a danger that they can do that, but there is, there is another point of... You would need a lot of points of failure before everything went down, as it were. What do you think it was? I think it is something to do with taxes. Because about 2 weeks ago, I had to refill out a bunch of tax forms. And YouTube, and that seemed to be fine. And then they said, oh, can you resubmit another piece of information for this tax form? And I did. And several days after that, they switched off monetization for my account. So I think it's a tax form related problem. I think that something has been ticked that needs to be unticked, or something has been unticked that needs to be ticked, or that they need to, swap a toggle from one thing to the other, and I can't do that. They have to do it. But they won't be told. I don't think that they will be told what I think the problem is. I don't think they care what I think the problem is. I think that they care that I haven't filled out the form yet. Or rather, that they can't see the form that I've just filled out. You can make a backup channel. I can, but I can't make another AdSense account because that is against terms of service and they will ban me for it. So I can have a backup YouTube channel, which is fine, but I cannot have a backup AdSense account, so I cannot monetize that channel. And they have killed the AdSense account that I have, and so basically I can't make any money on YouTube until they fix it. They can choose to remove that AdSense account and let me start up a new one, or they can fix the one I've got. But if I start up a new one myself, they will demonetize it and they will ban me, or they can ban me. Like, they're entirely within their rights to do that, because then I would knowingly be violating the terms of service. But yes, I may end up making a backup channel. There's always Jill Hairup. Actually, no, I think that's just a channel which is connected to the original email, and so I'd need a different one. Me pushing the big button is what caused the emergency in the first place. Why do people keep thinking that AI is a good thing? AI has a lot of, potentially excellent and even kind of, life-changing applications, but I don't think any of them are in the field of customer service. Like, AI has, there are some quite interesting things that people are doing in the fields of, like, say, medical research with AI, but I don't think that we should be trying to use AI when, like, beyond a very basic level when trying to deal with, like, humans having problems, because, I think there should be a rule that if the problem hasn't been solved in 3 rounds of talking to the AI, that you get a human. Someone left a comment, which I would like your opinion on, because I have no idea if it's true or not, and I didn't have time to look it up before I came on here. This is my mug, which, yes, absolutely. Death and taxes. The tax monsters can't tell. Okay. Right. Remind me if I forget, because when it is about the Internet Bill of Rights or something, right? I'm going to look it up in a minute. Can your husband own a new AdSense account? No, because it needs to be my company's AdSense account, as it were. We're currently... I should never be used for customer service. Yeah. The primary feature AI is used for is to enrage customers. They figure you getting stuck in a system with actively lies is cheap because people give up. Yeah. Whispers to chat, don't forget to hit the like button. Oh yeah, we can do the thing where you do this and then one appears on the screen. I think it's because your book is called Just Stab Me Now. I mean, yeah, but the book's been out for nearly a year at this point, and I've made multiple videos about it. And it was Monday when, they did things. Right, okay. We are finding the page of YouTube comments, and I'm going to ask you what it means. Okay. After January the 20th, YouTube will be forced to tell you flat out what you did wrong, let you file a specific appeal, and consider your appeal, forced to do all of that by President Trump's online Bill of Rights. Only 39 days left if it takes that long, etc. Is this a thing? I mean, I don't really keep up with American politics, so I had, I don't know. But is that a thing that might be happening? Because that sounds good. I mean, generally speaking, I have had so many people leave comments going, oh my gosh, why, my YouTube account, my Facebook account got hacked. They changed my email and then I couldn't access it. And then I they asked me to sort of prove I was who I said I was, and then they, like so many people have had this same thing happen on other platforms. They are removed, or their account is hacked, or something else, and it's just nope. And then they never get back on. That is not a thing. Okay, the president can't do that. Who knows? I'm not sure. Well, maybe you can, and maybe you can. I mean, they are all companies operating within the United States of America. So theoretically, that is something that could be within the power of the legislature in the US, right? Because in Australia, aren't they trying to make it so that you can't go on to social media if you're under 16? And those aren't even American-owned companies. They're just like, Twitter, make it happen. If you're Australian and you're under 16, you're not allowed to post on your platform. Make it so, number one. Does YouTube know there are no ads playing on your channel? Yeah, I mean, they turned it off, so they would know the terms of that. But do not use Copilot. That is turned. I don't know what Copilot is. Pretty sure the president can't do that because of Section 230. Okay. I don't know what Section 230 is either, but will a bill going through the USA version of Parliament could take years and then be challenged by the courts, which will also take years. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to make it would be nice to make it so that it was slightly easier to get in touch with a human, but legislature itself isn't supposed to be under the president's power, their executive branch. Okay, I don't put it this way. I will use the wrong words if it comes to American law, because my knowledge of it is very strictly limited, and also I cannot don't care. Section 230 is why I go to the dentist. Okay. Data Protection Act 2018 actually does say you have the right to human review, Section 96, right not to be subjected to automated decision making. There must be a lawyer somewhere. That is useful to know. 230, okay. Mm-hmm. The Data Protection Act, that is useful to know. Unfortunately, I am talking to a person. I think at the very least they act like they're a person because they only they only answer emails between certain hours. But if all else fails, can you send up Jill Bearup 2025 Limited and have that company create a new AdSense account? Possibly. That seems like an awful lot of duplication. I really hope it doesn't come to that. If it comes to you can't ever be monetized on YouTube again, then I will just not be monetized on YouTube, and I will make my money in other ways. It will be annoying, but I mean, I think there are various creators who don't run ads on YouTube and still do okay, mostly through Patreon and things like that. So, we can figure it out, but hopefully it won't go quite that far. Section 230 is what makes companies not responsible for user content. Okay. I'm not sure how that relates to, talking to a human. So, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, who knows? It might be a thing that is possible. It might not. Who knows if it even is, when it will come in, and therefore, meh. But, yeah, thank you. I appreciate the collective, collective knowledge. A person at YouTube, they're authorized to tell you they can't fix things. Yeah, that's basically where we are. Odyssey, I'm on Odyssey, but Odyssey doesn't pay you. It pays you in not Bitcoin. It's you can earn whatever their coin is. I don't remember. And then you can spend it automatically on promoting your videos, I think, but it doesn't actually earn you any money. It's not real money. it's totally not Bitcoin. It is a kind of cryptocurrency. I mean, at some point, I suppose maybe it might be worth something, or you could extract it from the system, but I don't know how to do that, and I definitely don't get enough of it that would be a thing. I don't even like hoodies. Okay. Section 230 is what views social media platforms as hosting, not publishing. So what they're not responsible for what is said on the platform, like a publisher of a paper. It's not applicable here. Okay, good to know. If you go no monetization, you'll be able to talk more freely in their videos. That wouldn't make a difference to what I say in my videos, though, because the reason that I don't say things which would get me demonetized is not because of the monetization per se. It's because my audience are roughly my age. They're a bit younger than me on average, but they're roughly my age, and a large number of my audience have children, and a large number of my audience watch my videos while there are children wandering around in the background. And so we try to keep it relatively PG so that they don't have to explain, so that they can watch the videos and not have to worry that a small child has just wandered into the room. Because there are certain kinds of videos on YouTube that I watch sometimes, or that I watch with headphones on, because I don't want to have to explain what that word means because the person, casually swears. It doesn't particularly bother me, but I'd prefer not to, I don't want that being repeated at school. I would, not only would the child get told off, but probably so would I. So, new business model like YouTube, but with customer support. What time is it there? It is 20 to 2. Start a podcast. I do like randomly talking, as we have discovered from the last few days of live streaming. I just need to. I appreciate being able to. It's already PG rated. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna find it. 40 with children. Thank you. I appreciate being able to watch your videos with my little brother. I know I have children, but they don't know enough English to understand most swear words. That's pretty handy. I missed the Patreon link in the description section. Okay, hang on. I will put that in a pinned comment on here. I can do that somewhere. I shall pin it. Now you've launched a book, are you working on another, or does the idea fill you with horror? The idea does indeed fill me with horror, but I haven't finished working on this book yet, because it still doesn't have a hardback and it still doesn't have an audiobook. So it's like, when are you going to write the next one? I'm like, let me finish the first one first, and then maybe lie down in a darkened room for a year or two. I thought that there was nothing that could possibly be worse than the experience of writing a book, and then I had to produce an audiobook, and I'm not even doing the editing myself, and it's still been a time. But hey, have you won over the AI, or is Skynet still winning? Skynet is still winning, but I'm at the request of the YouTube creator person. He's like, stop trying to fight it for a couple of days and then try again. Oh, I have a message from my partner manager. I think that's where I emailed. Okay, just a second, guys. Right. Okay. So I have finally that is my partner manager who has messaged me on LinkedIn. Let me see if yeah. Let me did I yes. Okay, I'm going to let her know I emailed you on. Oh. Just kept. All right. Well, at least my my partner manager exists, and she still works there at the company. I think even in the right department, and yeah, we might get a response there. All right. Good job, everybody. Whoever said try and find your partner manager on LinkedIn. Excellent job. The irony that on day one we went on Twitter, which helped us get started. The actual creator support person that I'm talking to, I only got assigned because a person who's never met me, who works in a completely different department of Google, opened a support ticket for me from, I think, Canada. That's why I managed to actually get hold of someone who's theoretically human, and now we've finally managed to get my partner manager by contacting her on LinkedIn. Okay, good job, everybody. We're doing great. We're doing a great job. Right, hold on. Let me bring my chat window back up. Oh dear. Yes, Jill's partner manager appears. I'm just here to skew the demographics. You just know you're part of some kind of psychological experiment. How long does it take before the average YouTuber starts breaking things? Yeah. This is completely ridiculous. I mean, yes, it is. But, I mean, sometimes you have to laugh. Sometimes you have to laugh. Anyway, so +1 to Google employees who work in a completely different department, +1 to Twix, and +1 to LinkedIn. So we're currently, minus 473 on actual YouTube, but never mind. I'm here to give you incorrect clicks. Oh man, it's the second form they had me fill out was about invalid traffic, and it's hilarious because it's like, have you ever purchased bots to click on your channel? I was like, no, I haven't. And then one of the questions further down is, what are you going to do to prevent this traffic in the future? I'm like, I didn't cause it. I'm pretty sure that's your problem. But it doesn't matter how sarcastically I answered, because as soon as I sent it off, it said, thank you for submitting your form, we'll get back to you. And then they got back to me and said, I'm sorry, this is not the correct form for you to be filling out. Please go away and fill in a different one. Okay, thanks. People ask for bots to click on their stuff. Yes, so invalid click activity is when people pay for bots to come and watch their videos and then click on their ads. Because if you, as a human, are watching one of my adverts or one of the pre-rolls that goes on my channel, and you say to yourself, oh, I would quite like to buy that thing, whatever it is, and you click on the thing, that gets YouTube and you more, that gets YouTube and the creator more money, because people are engaging with the adverts. So obviously they don't want fake people doing that, and so they're on the lookout for illegal click activity. Unfortunately, they then assume that if there's illegal click activity going on, it's because you, the creator, have caused it, as opposed to because there are lots of bots on the internet, for example. And some creators do. I mean, I know of people who have bought Reddit likes in the past, and I thought to myself, why would you do that? But I know of people who have done it. It is not. It is against the terms of service, and it will get you a ban. But I have definitely heard of that happening. So I'd watch your ads if they were for armor polish. Yeah. I don't pay for bots. I just send the videos to my family. You obviously need to fill in the form to ask for the right form. Indeed. Oh dear. Advertisers pay more for clicks than for views on a 10 times basis as of about a decade ago. I suspect there are contractual obligations to make sure those are real people insofar as it's possible. I mean, that is, and that's very sensible. But I think it's a bit of a reach to go, if there's been invalid click activity, that it's my fault. And also, it doesn't seem to be that it's invalid click activity because they won't let me fill out that form. We are trapped in a Kafka-esque nightmare. It's fine. Yeah. Morning from South Carolina. Good morning. I have heard of some using clickbots to cause issues for creators they have beef with. I mean, it's entirely possible. There are... Oh, another message. No. Is there? No. No, there isn't actually another message. Okay, maybe... But since I have told her about my email and when I sent it, maybe she might email me. It's possible. Anyway, what do you do? Okay. Lost my window again. What is that one for? Why do you have a notification? Okay. Right. Anyway. Jill Smug sums up her mood. Yeah. Is there an actual office you can go to talk to? Absolutely not. No. There used to be a YouTube sort of creator space in London, but first of all, they closed that down. And second of all, there would absolutely not be anyone there who would know anything about the problem. They would just tell you to go to creator support. They don't do that. Unfortunately. I mean, you would think that would be sensible, right? You would think that having an actual human in your time zone would be a useful thing. But no. If they can see that there are bots on their site, why can't they delete them? Yeah, this is the thing. They made me fill out the bot form, and then they said, actually, that isn't your problem anyway. So I have noticed, particularly in my shorts comments, people who I am not convinced are people. And the reason I'm not convinced that they're people is because they leave one word or one emoji comments. Like, there are a large number of, one word or one emoji comments. Sometimes as replies to other things, sometimes not. But in my experience, there are kinds of bots which post a lot of words, but I always get suspicious when the sole thing that when the post is made by someone who is first name, last name, 4 numbers, and they have posted one of those 100 emojis. I'm like, you might be a human, or yeah, I'm just saying. It seems to happen more in shorts than it does in long form content. I'm not sure why that is, but it is something I have noticed. Do you have a PO box? I want to send you my favorite cheese. Sadly, I think the cheese would not be having a good time by the time it got to me. Can you explain the context of your partner manager? Okay, so partner manager, technically speaking, When you hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, you are supposed to be assigned a partner manager. And your partner manager is an employee of YouTube whose job is to help you out with YouTube-related things which you might be having problems with. In practice, you do not, when you hit 100,000 subscribers, get assigned a partner manager. I got assigned my partner manager because I made a bunch of shorts, and those shorts did really, really well at a time when YouTube was not getting a lot of shorts views and was trying to push them. And so it was like, hey, please join. Do you want to join this program where you can learn more things about shorts? And I said, sure. And with that, I got someone who was the shorts person for the UK, but also effectively functioned as my partner manager. And then that person left, but was replaced by the new partner manager. And here we are. However, I unsigned up for the newsletter, which came from an alias email address. So when I tried to contact my partner manager, the email just bounced because it wasn't a real Google address. It was, it was blah at Google, but that wasn't, that there was nothing there. But now I have her real email address because she told it to me, and it was the same one that I had sent an email to 2 days ago because someone else gave it to me. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I got demonetized. YouTube will not tell me why. We are on day 3 of this. I have finally managed to get in touch with my partner manager. Her first thing that she told me was that I needed to get in touch with creator support, but I've been talking to them for 3 days and they are useless and won't do anything. So I've told her that I've been talking to them for 3 days and they're useless and they won't do anything. And hopefully she might have some ideas as to what I do next, because I can't be monetized on YouTube in any capacity. I can't get a new AdSense account. I can't make money on this one until they do something. And until I know what the problem is, I can't fix the problem. And they won't tell me what the problem is. They just keep telling me to fill out this form. And then I fill out the form and it says, I'm sorry, that's the wrong form, or you've done it wrong or something. It might be for one of these 5 reasons. Thanks. That doesn't help. Guys, yeah. Anyway, so having made 10 attempts on the form, I have been told that I should wait for a few days and then try an 11th attempt. Like, yeah, that's definitely going to work. That's definitely going to work, guys. I don't see anything wrong with this. Anyway, we are living in dystopia. However, I have to say that it has been a very, it has made me greatly appreciate my audience, because all of you turn up and, shout at YouTube on my behalf. And, lots of people have signed up to Patreon, and it's, I have very much appreciated the support. I also appreciate that you come on and listen to me babble for like a couple of hours a day. This will be the last one, unless you're in the $5 plus patron tier, probably for a while. But if you are in the $5 plus patron tier, then I will see you on Saturday, where we will probably talk less about this and more about whatever you guys want to talk about. It's if you've never been before, it's kind of a free association 45 minutes, and then I say, okay, bye guys, I'll see you next month, I'm going to buy chips. As in fish and chips, not the, crisps. I'm real because of the spelling errors. Are there regular live streams on Patreon? For the $5 plus tiers, I live stream once a month. Usually on a Saturday at like 4 p.m. UK time. But there is, I leave them up and there's like so you can replay them. We'll be talking about this on Saturday. You know what? We probably will. Yeah. No. We may or may not at some point get a response, but I have at least managed to make contact with my partner manager, and I now know that her email address is correct. So she does exist. She still works at YouTube. I can contact her. Whether or not she will respond, again, is another question. But that's definitely positive. We have taken a positive step First time caught you live, you're normally streaming at crazy hours. It's true. I tend to stream just whenever, which usually means that it's a bad time for... It's usually not a great time for Americans, and sometimes it's just a really bad time for Australians. Because if I stream in the morning, then it's fine for Australians and Europe, but America is asleep. And in fact, the whole, North and South America are asleep. But if I stream in the afternoon, then it's 3 a.m. for Australia, so, that's not ideal for them. There is no, perfect time to stream, I don't think. Or if there is, it's probably a time when I would like to be asleep. Who's the YouTube CEO? I have no idea. Hello, Scott, I'm not asleep. I mean, that's true, but you keep strange hours, even though you live, on the West Coast. The Aussies are out cold. You stream in the UK when the Brits are working. We love you for it. Any excuse. Absolutely. It is almost 2 o'clock here. But what do you do? Lunch break time. Are you able to create a second AdSense account? No, that is against the terms of service, and that would get me banned, because obviously I would have to fill in all the same information, and then they'd be like, there's duplicate information here, and they would probably have grounds then to ban me from the platform entirely. So yeah, I thought about doing that, and then I looked it up and went, oh, no, definitely not. Definitely a bad plan. It's almost 9 in New England. Well, there you go. That's where I give up on American YouTubers' Discords and Patreons. I always stream when I'm asleep. Yeah, because they're like, oh, I'll stream in the afternoon. And I'm like, it's 2 a.m. I don't want to stay up, but no. I had this, I used to belong to a website. I used to belong to a couple of different websites where they, where my videos were sort of secondarily hosted, as it were. Like, the video was on YouTube, but they just embedded it on the website. And sometimes they would have meetings, but they were always at 3 a.m. my time. And so I always missed them unless, when I had a very small baby, sometimes I was awake at that time. And so I caught part of the meeting, but mostly, I was just like, just tell me if there's anything you need me to do in an email. It's fine. What about YouTubers with a second channel? Can they make a second AdSense account? No. They have the same AdSense. They will have the same AdSense account, for both channels. Or it is possible that if they have, I suppose it's possible that if you have a company, you might have a personal AdSense account and then the company's AdSense account. But probably what's happening is they're running all of the channels off the same email address and the same AdSense account, because you can theoretically make as many channels with the same email address as you want to, and you can monetize them all with the same account. Almost 1 a.m. in Tasmania, just letting the dogs in and out. Can you tell my cat he has kibbles in 3 places and he won't get wet food for another 5 hours? I don't think he'll listen to me, even if I tell him that. I mean, he doesn't listen to you, and presumably he's more likely to understand you than me. I'm just saying. 3 o'clock in Spain, almost. Yes, I'm not good with time zones, but, luckily, these days, if you schedule something on the calendar, you can specify the time in a time zone, and then it automatically converts it, which is great. I do still have problems sometimes. Anytime that I have to do a podcast or something with an American, and if we've never done it before, I will look in my emails an hour before, just in case they've sent me an email going, where are you? Because we've messed up the time difference. It happens surprisingly frequently. Sometimes it is the other way around, and I arrive and think, where are you? and they're planning on showing up an hour later, but what can you do? Right, let's see. Do we have anything useful? No, but I did look up the Circumlocution office. Whatever was required to be done, the Circumlocution office was beforehand with all the public departments in the art of perceiving how not to do it. Let me put that in the chat for you because it's quite funny. Because that is exactly where we are. Massachusetts is awake. Well, it's as awake as we get. Fair. No, and yes, no one has told me the reasons yet. They tried. They said, oh, it's because of policy reasons, and then they said, no, maybe it's because of invalid click activity, and then they were like, no, it's definitely because of policy reasons. What policy reason? I don't think they know. I don't think they know is the thing. And because if they knew, then we could fix it. But I don't think they know. And even if they know, I don't think they're allowed to tell me because that would be a useful thing to do. Hey. Backend automation systems go burr. They almost certainly don't know. Yeah, if somebody... this is the problem. I keep assuming, right, that there's going to be someone who will be able to tell me what the problem actually is, but I rather suspect that that's not true. I rather suspect that no one knows what the problem is, and so because they don't know what it is, they can't actually fix it. Yes, you can demand to know what policy you broke all you like. You can ask. I have several times. They won't tell you. They just ignore the question because they can't tell you because they don't know. Please fill in the form. Yeah. Just joined in. I'm getting deja vu. Is this yesterday? Honestly, yes. Though, to be fair, we have at least managed to confirm that my partner manager is alive and well, and I think also at work. And so we have managed to contact her. So that's good. Nothing has happened yet, but that was only like 15 minutes ago. So possibly less. Fill in the form. Fills in the form. Wrong form. Yes. It's very pull the lever, Kronk. What do you do? Yes, although it would be a great, I imagine that it mostly isn't you guys who are doing it, but I would appreciate it if people wouldn't draw comparisons to certain events in America which have happened this week, based around, healthcare companies. Like, that's not helpful. That will get somebody banned. Like, please don't allude to violence against people who work for companies. Like, it's not, in this case, it is not their fault. I mean, I assume in most cases it's not, but in this case in particular, like, it's not their fault. And in most cases, I'm not even talking to a real person. Like, I'm pretty sure that the Twix account is run by AI, mostly. And even if it's not, they don't know what my problem is and they can't fix it either. So, and nor can the person on the other end of the email. You would think that they would want someone, at least like one person who could fix problems, but, maybe they can't afford one of those. Did you... Is the person you're talking to a real human? Likely. Unfortunately, they seem to be the kind of real human who can only respond they make enough spelling and grammar errors that I think that they're a real human, but I still think that they're sort of copy-pasting from a set of responses that they're allowed to give. But it doesn't, some of the sentences read a little bit wobbly, as if they've been put together on the fly. or that they don't quite mean what they just said. And so I think that they might be a real person. There probably is a person who can fix it, but they're probably really busy fixing other things. It's true. There's like this one person. Um, yesterday I was like, it's probably a guy called Dave. There's probably a Dave somewhere, and he's really busy trying to fix 27 other things, but he could fix this problem if only we could find him. Or possibly like a Janice, there may be a Janice somewhere. And she knows exactly how to untangle this Gordian knot. But unfortunately, she's quite busy fixing the 14 other things that people have dumped on her plate this morning. So, Medium Dave. One person emailing themselves on 15 on different accounts, so it looks like there are 15 departments working on it. Yeah. Hey ho. Anyway, the point is, sorry, distracted by the looking to see if I had any responses yet. I do not. But that's okay. Sorry. As I may have previously mentioned, my YouTube creator support person only answers emails between the hours of 9:30 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. So I had to, every time I woke up in the night, instead of just going back to sleep, I had to check my email to see if I'd had a response yet. Which is how we managed to get it to 2 email responses in a day as opposed to 1 email response a day. So, we're really cooking with gas here. What do you do? I've lost you all again. There we go. You can't change the laws of physics. Hey ho, doubling your speed is an achievement. I mean, yep. I don't. Answering emails in the middle of the night means Jill's earned an afternoon nap. To be fair, I had a morning nap. I got up and did all of the things in the school run and so on and so forth, and then went, I'm just going to go to sleep for a while. Yeah. Later on, good morning from Colorado. Thank you. Good morning to you too. Hopefully we can drive enough engagement to get someone to pay attention. Unfortunately, I am coming increasingly to the conclusion that that's not how it works. Well, it sort of is, but the driving enough engagement is so that we can get someone to watch the video who works at Google who's in the right department. Like, YouTube won't take notice of a video. I suppose if it got to trending or something like that, then maybe. But, YouTube is not going to take notice of a video, even a video that's doing relatively well, and do something about that. But if somebody who works at Google watches the video, then I do, that does often result in things, because I've had 2 different Google employees contact me and say, hey, I watched your video and I work at Google but not in the right department, but would you like some help in getting to the right people? And that is how I got my partner manager's email address in the first place. Of course it didn't work, so we had to go to LinkedIn, but then I have now confirmed that is her email address and told her that I have sent her an email, so maybe she will respond now, who knows. And maybe she will know how to help. Maybe it's possible. But yes, we just need more Google employees watching these videos. That's basically how it goes. It's so frustrating that you have to do that. I mean, it is. Yes, email chain fetch quests are fun, said nobody. Yeah, so if you basically at the moment, This means that I earn no money directly from YouTube. So I'm still earning money on Patreon, and I still earn money if you buy my book, and I still earn money if you buy a piece of merch or anything like that. But there aren't any ads on the videos, and there aren't any channel memberships on YouTube, and so I don't earn money from that. If you would like to give money on Patreon, you can. You should not feel obliged to do that at all, because the economy is what it is. If you would like to give money on Patreon, it is pinned at the top. If you would like to buy a book, you can do that too. The manner of book buying that gets me the most money is if you buy a paperback book from Amazon, which I was surprised by too, honestly. But like, I only charge $4.99 for my ebooks or something like that. So that is the kind of book that would, if you buy a Kindle copy of the book, that is how you give me the most percentage of the money that you give, if you see what I mean. So I get like 60% of it or something, whereas I only get about a third of the money that you spend on a paperback book, but you get a paperback book and I get nearly $6. So that's pretty good. When hardbacks are a thing, will there be any signed ones available? Like, I'm not planning on it. I may do some more book events and things. I may go some places, but like, book signing the problem is not the book signing. The problem is that there's only me, and so I had hang on. For comparison, when I needed my book proofread, I asked my patrons, and I said, listen, and I think my channel members as well, and I said, listen, if you would like to sign up to proofread the book, spelling errors, weird, whatever, if you can read it the whole way through and just tell me any errors you see, as payment for this, I will send you a signed copy of the book. Good golly, Miss Molly, there were 16 of them. And it was so expensive and so time consuming. Like, obviously, I didn't mind, I didn't mind doing it because they had done me a service, and I was, but the different, like, rules for sending things to different countries, like signing the books and wrapping them up and then filling out all of the forms, it was a bit of a time. I was like, wow. And this is only for 16 books, and they're only going to, 8 different countries. So if there were signed hardbacks available, I would either need to like hire somebody to help me to actually send them, or there would be a severely limited number. Put it like that. Maybe I should just sell those. It would be useful if I could sell things and I didn't have to post them. This is the real problem. Like, if I could just, have a pile of things and it was somebody else's job to post them, that would be great. But it's not. And so it's like, it's not a... I'm not sure how not good a use of my time it is, but like, I feel like I could make more people happy by spending 3 hours making a video than make 6 people happy by spending 3 hours sending out 6 signed books, if you see what I mean. So we need to get around the postage issue. That's what I'm saying here. We need to get around the postage issue. Because, signing the books is no problem. It's just getting them to the right place. I bought a paperback through Amazon. Amazing. Voice actor ears pricked. Audiobook, you say. Yes, the audiobook has been recorded by me and is now being edited by someone who is probably... who's maybe in the live stream, but also quite possibly, regretting ever having met me. Because there were some microphone issues, let's put it that way. Instead of signed books, some authors have done the signed sticker thing. That's what we need, but also we need someone else who can poke them. Has there been a spike in book sales when you do a book signing? No, because I've only done one book event, and that was like 25 people, and that's not the books get ordered for that in advance, and so most of the people there already had a copy, and so I sold like 10 books at that book signing. But the main thing about it is I sell a reasonable number of books during a day. The most effective thing I can do to make people buy my books is to make a video about them, rather than to show up in person. Because if I'm showing up in person and you're showing up in person, it's probably because you've already read the book. Like, nobody's going to show up in person for like some rando, but if they've read the book and they like it, then, you know, they might. I'm going to send my sister your book and not explain anything. Great. You need a fulfillment ad. Yes. So we need to invent a teleporter. Yeah. Okay. I need to get my sister to... Yes, we should send everyone's sister a copy of the book. Do you have videos to recommend to wannabe writers on getting something published? Unfortunately, I do not. And the reason for that is that I approached publishing basically entirely backwards. If you want to be traditionally published, I recommend the subreddit r/pub tips. They are like, if you have written a book and are in the process, or you want to query it to get an agent or something like that, they're one of the main things they do is they look at your query letter and your first 300 words, if you put them up there, and they sort of critique it and help you to make it better, so it's more likely that you will get someone interested in your book. So, you know, they're good for traditional publishing. They're quite... they are very straight down the line, put it like that, but, you know, they will help you if you're serious about wanting to be traditionally published. And sometimes they have really funny threads started by people who don't really understand the rules of traditional publishing and just post a thing, which is interesting, but not what you'd call publishable. Anyway, there are lots of good YouTube channels, and excuse me. There are lots of good YouTube channels about getting published. Yes, but I came into publishing backwards, which is I didn't want to write a book, and then everyone told me that I should write a book, and then I did write a book, and that's not how it happens most of the time, which also meant that people were already interested in the book before I had written it, or before I'd finished it, or before, you know, I was done editing it. Which meant that I had people reaching out to me to say, oh, can we, we're interested in your book. We might like to represent you as an agent, or we might like to represent you as, or we might like to publish you as a publisher. In every single one of those cases, either let's try that again. Specifically in the publisher cases, every single one of those companies or people who worked for companies who reached out to me read the book and went, that was fun, we can't market it, because it's not a book that falls neatly into a genre. So if you go into Waterstones, you will find it under fantasy and sci-fi, but I had two different sci-fi and fantasy publishers say to me, your book is fun, but it's not fantasy enough for us to publish. It's like, that's fine. And then I had someone who, I had one romance person say, I really love your book, but it's not a fantasy romance because there's not enough fantasy romance. It's not a contemporary romance because there's not enough contemporary romance. And there's also meta, which isn't romance at all. So your book is really fun, but I don't know where this sits in the market. And I said, don't worry, I know who'll buy it. Right? But, yeah. I approached publishing backwards because usually if you want to be traditionally published, you have to know which genre you're writing in, whereas I knew who I was writing for and I knew they would buy the book. And so I wrote a book for you guys because I knew that you would probably like it. Whereas most people, they don't have an existing audience, and so they write a book in a genre for people who like that genre. Yeah. Okay, let me You're probably the only person who ever got nagged into writing a book by fans of the book. So what you're saying is publishers don't understand creative work. What I'm saying is that publishers exist to sell products and make a profit, and they do so by selling products that they know how to sell. Like, right? So like, if you're an estate agent and I come into you and say, hey, I've got this amazing set of microphones, you'd be like, I don't know how to sell microphones. I'm sure that they're lovely, but that's not very helpful to me. And the same way, if you went into an AV shop and said, hey, I've got this house that I need you to sell, they'd be like, that's great, go to an estate agent. Movie adaptation when, you see, everyone keeps saying this, right? But the YouTube series is the movie adaptation. And it's not the adaptation, it's the original, right? Do you have an Amazon affiliate link for ordering the book? It's possible. Let's go with no, I don't off the top of my head. Like, let's not, $6 is good. I'm just saying. It sounds like there needs to be more metafiction in the world. Thinking Princess Bride, yes. The thing is, in traditional publishing, when you're querying agents, you have to give something called comps. And comps are comparable titles. And those have to be not major blockbusters and all published within the last 5 years. And that's 5 years at the outside, to show that you understand the state of the current publishing market and what books people are buying right now. The books which Just Add Me Now is comparable to are like The Princess Bride and Terry Pratchett. It's like, yeah, that's great, but those are two sort of, mega best-selling things and also quite old now. So, that's not to say that people didn't buy it. Like 41,000 people have bought either an ebook or a paperback, but that's kind of, compared to actual traditionally published bestsellers, that's kind of peanuts. For a book, for like a mid-list book or a book by a debut author, that is extremely respectable. But, compared to the sort of Terry Pratchett's or Stephen King's or whatever, that's kind of peanuts. You made your own market niche. Yeah. What is... Oh, no. I had a... I've lost you. What was your reaction the first time you saw your book at a bookstore? I've never seen one. That's not true. I mean, I technically saw my book at Waterstones, but only because the person it was a book event at Waterstones and he'd specifically ordered them in. I have never seen my book in the wild. I live in hope, but I've never, unless it has been specifically ordered in for an event that I am doing in person, I've never seen my book in a bookstore. Other people have, though. Somebody saw it in Copenhagen Airport. I was like, that's definitely the most random place I've ever heard of anyone seeing my book. But yeah. My local bookstore put it on the border shelf between the fantasy and romance sections. I like that. Marketing first, authoring later. Yeah, that is kind of how I did it. Modern humans are so limited. Old sci-fi and fantasy is highly variable. I mean, it is. Chills up with George R. R. Martin, who gets nagged about writing Game of Thrones Book 7. Yeah, that's another reason I'm very reluctant to like ever write anything again, honestly. Because I'm not gonna say that it's ruined his life. His life is, I'm sure, excellent, and he's made millions of dollars, and he's great. But I don't know how I wrote the first one. I have very little recollection of it, and I'm not sure that I'm not sure that there is a second one, because I wrote it, and that thing is, I wrote it and it was complete, and that was good, and I was pleased with that. I have to go to work now. Well, I hope you have a good day. What is wrong with old books? Nothing is wrong with old books. In fact, old books are what are keeping most publishers afloat. And when I say old, I don't necessarily mean like super duper old, but copies of like re-releases of Ender's Game are probably helping to keep Tor afloat. Like, is Ender's Game Tor? It's like, I think it's him and Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson is propping up everybody else, by by sheer dint of like volume. Just having now should be a big budget Hollywood movie starring Florence Pugh and Adam Driver. That does sound like fun. You didn't have an idea for the first book. Never mind a second. Exactly. Like, the first book was, I made a story. I guess let's turn that into a book. Nothing wrong with a standalone novel. They're annoyingly hard to find now. Yeah, the thing is that people have... what am I thinking of? Like, that there is a problem with people... that they write what is supposed to be the first book in a series, but because people are so gun-shy about series now, they're like, well, I'll just wait until the series is complete, and then nobody buys the first book, and so the series never happens, which seems a bit disappointing to me. I would prefer, like, one good standalone book to something that was meant to be 4 books, but only ever ended up as one. Brando Sando, oh no, I've lost you. Brando Sando is propping up the fantasy genre IMO. I mean, that may well be the case. He's definitely, he's definitely one of the biggest moneymakers for his current publisher. And I imagine they're being very nice to him in order to try and keep him for at least some of his book series, because every time he decides to publish a book series outside of the traditional publishing system, like, no one else gets that money. It's just, him and his team. I'm not really helping publishers. I buy most of my books secondhand. I mean, yeah, but I mean, publishers make a lot of money, generally speaking. So, like, do they really need more of your money? We get Saturday stream 2 days early and for free, and for much longer. Like, normally we only sort of talk in the regular live stream for, like, 45 minutes, because it is a Saturday, so there are other people tugging on my time, as it were. But yes, never say never. Indeed, like, never say never. But when people go, "Are you writing a sequel now?" I'm like, no, and and also, I still haven't finished the first one. Like, I thought it was gonna be sort of what I should be doing, and what I'm going to be doing, like, tomorrow, is I'm going to go over the files I've just been sent by my typesetter, because I was like, hey, I have like a dozen changes that I would like you to make to the paperback and the ebook, because they're like very minor typos. I think only one of them is a spelling error. Some of them are like, that's an American way to, if you have a colon in British English, you have a lowercase letter after it, and in American English you have a uppercase letter. We missed a couple of those, that sort of thing. So I have to check those files, and then I have to approve those, and then he's going to start typesetting the hardback for me, because he previously did, and then I was like, actually, I know you put the font size up, but the font size needs to go up a bit more. The font size needs to go up a bit more, because the font size in the paperback was basically the only thing that people kind of complained about. Like, some people didn't like the typesetting, but most people did like it. But a lot of people said, yeah, the font size is kind of small and I find it a bit difficult to read. So in the hardback, it's already more expensive. You already have to pay more money for it. If it's 15 pages longer because the font is bigger, no one's going to die of it. You can just buy the ebook. In fact, if you're in the UK, you could buy the ebook on Kindle for like 99p right now. For the whole month of December, I think. So obviously I only get like 40p, but still, if you are in the market for a bargain and you're in the UK, you can buy the Kindle copy of Just Stab Me Now for 99p at the minute. I have to go do stuff now. Have fun. fees. I had a problem with the ebook, but dyslexic font only worked half the time. That's a bit weird. Did you buy it? Was it a Kindle one or like an Apple Books or a Barnes and Noble one? You people, what section would Just Abby now be in? If you're in Waterstones, the Waterstones guy at my event told me it is in the sci-fi and fantasy section, but it will almost certainly not be there. You will need to order it in, because like they don't just have it on the shelf. That's very rare. Like they had one on the shelf in the Canterbury Waterstones, because before I moved, that was sort of my local one, and so that was where I did a book event. I mean, I had to come from like quite far away, but they were like, yes, Jill wrote this book and she lives here, or she did anyway. And so that was why it was on the shelf. But you if you do find it in Waterstones on the shelf, then do let me know. I was once in a video call where the other person started to fall asleep. I'm starting to get flashbacks to that. Yeah, I am going to, go away soon because, school run and stuff. But when you come into the States for a book tour, why should England be so lucky? I live in England, and transatlantic, that's what I mean. Transatlantic flights are expensive. Like, I like you and think you're all great, but I would have to spend my own money to come to America to do a book tour, and would not make any of it back. So who knows? Maybe I'll get invited to a convention or something, and then they might pay my, my flights. Bye, chat. You could do a fundraiser for an American book tour. Traveling is crazy expensive. It's true. Planes are much better now, though, because we did go, like, we went to Florida to Disney this year, and it was like, this was the culmination of several years of, yes, we're going on a big holiday, as it were. And I was really impressed by the plane, because now you get like your own little screen and you can play whatever movies you want, and they give you a little blanket, and also you could have as much water as you want. Okay, it's really getting a bit ridiculous now, so I'm going to stop yawning and actually just go away. My professional admiration to your typesetter for a tricky book. Yes, my typesetter is Libris at Onsa Publishing, or Onsa, I think it's, yeah, something like that. It's definitely Onsa, which is like leopard. He is excellent, and I like him very much. Why does your YouTube plaque look like it has dents in it? Because I stabbed it repeatedly and then hit it with a sword. Good night, Jill. It's only 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm just very tired because I was up all night. Well, not all night, but I was up multiple times in the night to email my YouTube creator support person. Presumably because he's in Australia. I'll have to do some Christmas shopping. Have a fun time. Anyway. Roger. I've lost. Oh, I'm lost. Never mind. Sorry. Okay. Before I fall asleep on stream, which would no doubt be amusing, but probably not, good. I'm just gonna click all of the buttons and do the thing. I hope that you have a good day, and that if you have the chance to nap, that you have a nice nap, because naps are an excellent idea. I will, if you are a patron of the appropriate tier, I will see you on Saturday, and otherwise, I will update you guys next week, one way or the other. But for now, I will probably just not be putting anything on YouTube, because there's kind of no point. So I may as well, do all the other things that I have to do, like my, taxes and stuff, and plan some videos, since, YouTube is doing its thing, and its thing is weird and inexplicable. Have a good day, evening, day, or morning, and see you all soon.